Welcome, everybody. It's Kristina Wolf here, and this is another episode of Energy Mastery, creating systems that support your best life. And today we have with us Cora Spoladore. She's a branding specialist. Can you introduce yourself, Cora?
So, hi, Kristina. Thank you for inviting me. And yes, my name is Cora Spoladore. I am living in Germany. And several years ago, I traveled around the world and I stayed in California for a while. So that's where I started to work with American women, and especially women who want to brand themselves and want to build their own business globally and internationally. So yeah, my specialties is personal branding, and I have a master in brand and communication design. And yeah, here I am.
Tell me a little bit about the idea of branding. I know a lot of people talk about it, but can you describe exactly what that means?
Yeah, so in general, when we talk about branding, we think, okay, it's a product, right? We are surrounded by products like shoes, whatever it is, Oracle cards, right? We know this is Dory Vitru, and she created a brand and she's selling products. So what we do, or what I do and focus on, is to help women who have a service-based business. And nevertheless, when you have a service-based business, you're also, ready to create your own brand, to position yourself in the market as someone who stands out from others. And a brand is really helping you to create an identification for your clients and your partners and the one you want to collaborate with, to say, yes, she's the one, she's standing for something. I like to connect to her. I like to work with her. And actually your brand and your personal branding and your messaging will help you to stay on track. And that's the difference between a personal brand, you are in the center of the personal brand, and a product related brand. So even products have a whole strategy, how they position themselves with a message and with an emotional connection. And you as a service-based business can do this too. And this is what I do.
So a personal brand, basically you're the product, essentially. And it helps to get clear on what your main focus is or how you wish to serve people. How do you piece that out for your clients? I know we talked a little bit about archetypes and branding. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. I know in the internet, everybody is taking or using this buzzword word brand, right? And there's a lot of confusion about that because essentially many business coaches are using this word correlated to the marketing strategy. And marketing strategy is a piece of your brand, as well as your visual appearance is a piece of your brand. So what it actually means is when you are creating your personal brand, where you are in the center of your branding and your messaging, your services, and also your products. Actually, you are not a product. You are, you could say, you could be a celebrity, someone who's standing for something and who is providing a product or a service. So this is the core, right? Branding is the pillars and the cornerstones of your messaging, your marketing, and how you want to show up in the world. And women especially never thought about, it's a global problem that women think that they are not always something special, but they are. And what I'm helping them to with a brand journey is to discover what makes them so special, and what talents do they have, and I'm helping them to identify their uniqueness and their greatness so that they can start to market their brand and to show up visually in the market and online. And brand archetypes are actually nothing new. They are very old concepts of how we are using archetypes in everything what is surrounding us, even in movies and when you watch a movie, for example, you exactly know who is the hero and who's the everyman and who is who's actually the one who's entertaining everybody, right? So, and who is the lover, who takes the loving energy into the movie. And this is a branding concept, and which is created actually from the psychologist Carl Jung. And this is a long time ago, right? So we are using archetypes everywhere we go, or we are inhaling them. And it's something very natural to us to identify and understand. And so it is very easy for when we are creating our personal brand to see what aspects of an archetype I am incorporating into my message and how I show up. And just to get a connection to this. For example, I have a primer, secondary, and third archetype, and I am a lover. My whole business module is infused by love, but I'm also a ruler, means I am stepping up as a leader for others. So the combination of it is very powerful here, because I have a gentle approach, and also I'm telling you what to do, right? And the third part is that I'm a companion, means you can go with me and steal horses, right? So I'm very close to you. And this is very cool for my partners too, because they know they can depend on me. So this is how I show up in my business. And this helped me very much so to create a brand message which stands for my business, for my services, for my products, and helps women to say, oh, Cora, I love you. I want to work with you, right? So that's the whole magic behind archetypes, actually, in a nutshell.
Well, that sounds really good, though, because it helps people get aligned with their own true nature. And so how do you help your clients find out or discover what their archetypes are?
Yeah, if I may come back to how or who is it who is looking for this help, or who's looking for this clarity? I like to use branding equally clarity, because right, it is essentially giving you all clarity you need to start up and really revamp or level up your business. And archetypes is an essential part of clarity, right? To have clear guidance. And all the brand guidelines I help my women to shape out and discover by giving them workbooks and the questions they need to ask themselves, and the templates they will need to fill out to have a brand identity book actually at the end of this journey. And this helps tremendously in time, effort, and onboarding new partners or new team members, and know what kind of social media strategy should be the next one, or what kind of products you want to create.
And do you find that once you go through this process, you're going to have to go through it a few more times? Because I see a lot of people talking about rebranding in their business. And sometimes that's a good idea if you're going through a lot of growth, right? If you feel that, oh, well, maybe I did have a good brand at this point, but now I'm growing as a person. Can you speak about that expansion a little bit?
Yeah, that's a wonderful part of branding, because branding actually never stops, right? It is a part of your personality, and that's why it calls personal brand identity, right? It is not only helping my clients to know who I am, it's also helping me to know who I am, right? So that's the whole magic of the personal part and of the identification piece in branding. And when you are, let's say you are a coach, you are kind of successful, you have an income of, let's say, $4,000 to $6,000 per month, and you think, okay, I'm not very happy with whom I'm attracting. It is not because my product or my mastermind is not good enough, or my membership page, or my interview series. It is because the message is a little bit out of alignment of who I am authentically. So I feel the urgency to really show up differently probably I grew out of my shyness, and perhaps I was a little shy in front of the camera before, or, I was thinking, oh, I'm not good enough or something. I need to avoid certain things in my business. And now is the time, because you feel more confident, but also you feel like you want to dare something. You want to show up authentically. You now are ready to create something new, something bigger. Then it is good to check in with your branding and see if what you created from your messaging part, actually, is this still aligned? Also, you could check in if the professionalism of your visual appearance is still aligned with the new goals and with the new steps. Perhaps you want to attract new partners who are a little bit further on the ladder and more successful than you are, and they have a gorgeous, gorgeous visual brand, and you think, I need to really show up as professional as possible by myself and see if I could really revamp and rebrand and be better. And so you are evolving, your brand is evolving, and into your greatness. I mean, one part of branding is also to really feel what makes you happy and how you want to feel and how you want your clients to feel, right? But the next step, next level up, is to dive into your greatness. So this is what I always try to find out with my clients. What is the little more stretch you can do to stretch your brand even? So it's not all about rebranding. Sometimes you need to level up your brand a little bit more.
Yes, definitely. I know, I like how you talked about kind of stretching a little bit. Like, there is a piece there where you kind of have to step out of your comfort zone and maybe get to know parts of yourself that you weren't aware of before to up level. Can you talk about that process a little bit? For people, do you find that people are resistant to that, or they're really eager? Is there a difference in clients and how successful they're going to be?
Yeah, I mean, you know this. At the end, it's all about mindset, right? Who am I? How am I comfortable to show up, right? And in my mastermind groups, for example, I only work with women because my branding focus on helping women who are a mirror of myself, right? So it felt very easy for me to attract these kind of clients to speak the same language when we are together, and that I can share my struggles, even though I am their role model, right? That I'm their teacher and their coach. I feel a deep connection to them. I don't feel insecure to say, okay, at the beginning, I didn't know what to say, or even I couldn't speak English, right? It was like, ooh. So this was my struggle, and I'm sharing this with my women because I know I will have some spellings, right? And so they feel compassionate about, and they embrace everything, the uniqueness. And this is very easy for me in my business to talk about. And when I would say I need to stretch myself, I would say, okay, now I would work with leaders who are a little bit higher on the ladder than I am. And that would mean I need to change my brand message. I would change my products. And that would help me to dive into the greater version of myself in my business, in my personal life, and in my branding. So, but oftentimes it happens that you probably see a vision, you have your mission, but you feel insecure or have fear that something could happen to you, or you could not achieve it, or you could burn out, or you think, oh, I'm not good enough, and they are so good and so gorgeous already, right? And at one point, I always say to my little lovely ladies, right, who are starting out in this case, I say, just start somewhere. Create something what is easy for you to create, as I am started with women, so who are starting out with their businesses. So I can talk to them on a different level. But yeah, so the enemy of this is actually confusion. When you are going in cycles and you don't decide for what you are standing for and what your next step could be. And then, right, branding and the whole support around branding is really finding out what help and support you need to step up to the next profitable level in your business and in your marketing. So actually everything what we do in branding is creating the foundation to yourself, that you see what is possible for you and you say, yeah, I'm this professional woman. And then the next step is and how to thrive into your greatness.
So do you find when you're talking about confusion, a lot of ladies, I think when they are starting out, want to take on several areas that they want to assist their clients with. And then that's where maybe your clients get confused. So maybe you should find like that one thing and get good at that. Is that kind of what you're talking about with the clarity and reducing the confusion? How do you help gain that focus and that clarity?
Yeah, so the support system, I like to call it a support system you're creating for yourself, because at the end we are sitting alone in front of our computer most of the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and the confusion is one part, and the other part is when you are multi-passionate, right? Which is which is beautiful actually. Right? When you feel like, I like to paint mandalas, or let's stay in my case. I am a crystal grid healer. I like everything about energy healing, right? I like oracle cards, all the funny, colorful stuff. And I like to listen to the Starseed podcast and all of this, right? This out of the world things, because I just feel that there is a higher mission in this world, and there is a heart connection which is so important, and I do all the beautiful things with meditation and heart connection. And when I started my business and my brand and really asked myself, well, what am I standing for, I knew I need to focus on one thing, what is helpful for my clients to be successful in their business and in their life. In some cases, it could be being a healer, right? Or be a coach, or be an intuitive, how to combine this in your business module. And because I knew when I started to offer all the meditations and all the fantasy journeys I created and all crystal grids and Reiki masterclasses, all this, right? It would get fuzzy for them when they think, okay, Cora is the one to go expert for personal branding. So they would think, okay, what is it, what she's actually offering? What is it she doing right now? Should I really work with her now, or is she doing something else? Nothing about branding. So the confusion is happening because we show up consistently, and this is what actually is needed when we are doing business online. And I would mix my message. So what I did is I shaped my message, and my message is personal branding with style and soul. So I'm also still touching the soul part, but by helping you to find your uniqueness and your truth, and also helping you to release energy blocks. But I'm not doing this by myself. I invited partners to my business, healers, other coaches, right, to give more value and more support in my programs. And I stay in my focused niche. So they still know that I am open for all the beautiful energy healing things and mindset stuff, right? But they know that when they want to come to me, they talk about personal branding, styling, brand concept, archetypes, really how to create the foundation of a brand.
That's really good. I had a question come out of that. Like, what if I'm, like, let's say your example, you're mostly known for your branding, but you would like to get more known for your energy healing type of stuff. Would you recommend then that you slowly rotate your branding over time to more the energy healing side of it? Or would you recommend just a total revamping of who you are if you know you want to go to that route? Or could you have two businesses. How does that work? 'Cause that seems like confusion to me. Wouldn't you want to have like one focus? Tell me how you would handle a client if they came to you with that.
Yeah. So actually in this essence, it's something very unique, because we are also talking about strategy, and we are also talking about branding, but also about marketing, right? Mm-hmm. And this is why this all is interconnected with, right? What is the next program I'm creating? How I want to help others? Who is it I want to help, right? Mm-hmm. How I want to give myself as a service-based businesses to others. What is now most aligned with me? And when you feel that let's say you were a business coach, and you are also a Reiki master or an energy editing mindset coach, right? You feel that this is the next step for you. I would say, see from the strategy wise, what is making your passive or your regular income? Do you feel like you want to hold this for a while, and at the same time you are offering a second program, testing it, or a second service, testing it, and so you have a time where your brand will serve both levels, right? Mm-hmm. And over time, you will attract the other prospects because they have different needs. They hear your message. One of my dear ladies, I have a mastermind call tonight with her because she's my partner. She's an energy editing healer, and she was a mindset coach before. And she's now offering free services and showing up as partners, like in my program, right? She's testing what people need and how she can help them. So it's a little stretch to go this two ways. But when you feel the urgency that it's time to totally shift your business module, which is a shift in your module, actually, not only in your brand, it is, what is it I'm standing for? What am I offering, right? And so, yeah, this is not a confusion. It is more a shift of direction. Yeah.
All right. Wow.
And being decisive is always the best thing to step out of confusion.
Mm-hmm. Just pick what is really calling you and stick with that for right now, and then you can always shift or level up if you feel the need to in the future, right? Well, thank you so much for your time. If our listeners want to learn more about what you do, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, that's very easy. I have because I am a giver. The lover is the giver, right? I created a brand mini course for the ones who want to test the waters, how their brand can really infuse their business and their messaging. Also, I have a free brand mood board challenge coming up every 3 months in my little Facebook group, right? So it's a very intimate little circle where we are branding ourselves also visually, because this is the second part I'm standing for. Besides of the foundation, I am helping my clients to create a visual concept for their branding so that they can show up most authentically, with clarity, and with professionalism. So that's why I have both of these free offers to connect to me and get started. And on my website, it is yourfuturedesign.com. You can check out and connect to me.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And I know our listeners got so much out of it, because I know I did. And once again, hopefully we'll hear more from you in the future. Bye for now.
Thank you, Kristina. Bye.